Hi, guys. You're welcome back to this week's episode of Views from the Stand. And you know how it is. We sit down here, we talk about a thing or two, and we learn from each other. And we also hope that you, the fans, will join in on whatever it is we're talking about. Your comment is just as good as our opinion. I do not claim to say that we know it all. There is one thing you can add to it, and that's your honest opinion in the comment section. And as you do that, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do want to subscribe to the channel. Help us to grow and help us to continue to make such a quality content out there for you. Look at the cast that we've got. Where else can you have a crew like this? An expert from the US, an expert from Germany, not only Germany, but working with UEFA, and over 72 clubs, coaches, and football players across the world in Mario Liu. And we've got the ancestor of Nigerian and African football in China Achiru. One of the things that I take pride in is telling myself that this man is on my side, is on my corner. People like him, people like Emeka Anyadike makes it easy for me to do my job and do it well. Colin Udo, and a host of others. Temisa Nokomi, whose birthday just passed a couple of days ago. And having people like this, and then you have the enigmatic, charismatic Bobby Ukaigwe. It's just one of those things where you say to yourself, I've got the right crew by my side, and with them, we will conquer the world. But then we need you guys to be the wind in our sail and help us to get to that destination that we want to get to. So this episode, I want to start with Bobby. Bobby, is there a tinge of pain or disappointment that the reign of Ruud van Nistelrooy, if I call Robbie Van Persie today, I'll slap myself. Ruud van Nistelrooy has come to an end, even though you just jumped only from 14th to 13th on the league table, but it does look like something is about to start. And I don't know if Amorim will come and build on it or will crash down, but is there a tinge of regret? Like, I wish we had left him to the end of the season.
Daffy, I think you need to rephrase that question. I think the question is, are you happy that the reign of terror of Eric Ten Hag has come to an end? I think that should be a way to...
No, it's Eric Ten Hag's man now. It's person like you that I can ask that question. For Bobby, Bobby is Eric Ten Hag's man. Oh. You remember, he was siding with him, blaming the players, like, kabashing, spitting fire like Dragon from Merlin. Never seen Eric Ten Hag as bad. So I'm not going to ask him that question. Bobby, answer my question.
Is there any regret on my side for Van Nistelrooy's era coming to an end? No, there's no regret. In fact, I want it to end so that we can start the new era afresh on a new plate. Start on a new plate, new footing, and get work started. Ruud, people say the team played better, this, that, and the other. Nothing. There's nothing that happened under Ruud that I haven't seen before. I saw it when Van Gaal got sacked. I saw it when Mourinho got sacked. I saw it when Ole got sacked. It's the same thing. The players, we pick up those tools that they've downed and give something. The main difference, the only thing that I would say Ruud tweaked when he came in, he plays with a double pivot, yes. He brought the good feel mentality, the same new manager bounce. And basically, these players are on an audition because of the eminent manager coming in. They will be fools not to give what they've been saving. They have to give what they've been saving. So they'll be fools because the new manager is watching these things. He's watching these games. He's taking notes. And though he will still come and look at them on face value, but he's still taking notes. He's still watching them. So basically, what Ruud did that I can praise in inverted commas is basically he's giving Amorim a good footing. At least Amorim is not coming to a team that has lost maybe 3 games in a row or hasn't gotten a win in 4 or 5 games. At least they've won in Europe. They've gotten a game at home. They've scored more goals because prior to that, yesterday's game, I think they've scored only 3 goals in the Premier League at home. Yeah, but now they've scored more. So at least he's giving them a footing for Amorim to take from. So regrets, no. I don't even the talk of people are considering whether he can Amorim should add him to his backroom staff. Man, you shouldn't even try that. I
think that's a very foolish talk.
I don't.
There's so many reasons. There's so many reasons about it that I don't like. First off, he came out and sold himself short when he said he was closer to the players than Eric Ten Hag. For me,
Imagine.
that was a very, very dangerous play. When you're playing the political field, there are certain things you should keep to yourself. Because once he said that, oh, Amorim is going to listen to it as, oh, this guy is closer to the players, meaning that even when I say anything, and with the kind of result he's gotten, meaning I've got a 2.5 years contract. What is the payoff? If he comes to okay, terminate and pay me, no, I'm not gonna keep this guy. This is not the case where they say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. This one, you need to keep your enemies very far. And as far as I'm concerned, Ruud van Nistelrooy, this is not me rubbishing what Ruud van Nistelrooy has done, but they say woman we go carry get we set to do herself. Very soon she will be the outside woman and the housewife will be the housewife. So that's a gamble that I don't think Amorim will want to do. And he's a young person. Young coaches are heady by nature. And you don't want to start giving orders to Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ruud van Nistelrooy look at you like this club that I played for, scored 150 goals, for 5 years, did this, did that. You, my friend, you better show some respect. And then that becomes a problem. So I think it should just cut him off. But let me go to Habib here. Habib, are you happy? You were one of those who was willing to see Man United lose series of games just to see Eric Ten Hag go. Now, are you happy that in a like in the snap of a finger, all of a sudden the players are playing well, winning matches, willing to die for the shirts again, celebrating when they score, huddling together. Everything just seemed like, oh, it's back on. They've got their mojo going. And looking at Man United now, you can even say they can get back into the title race at the very tail end of the season. Are you happy that Amorim was the one that was chosen? Because there was also the talk of Javi Hernandez, there's the talk of a few other guys here and there. You satisfied that this is the guy that will restart the project and take you guys somewhere?
Okay. To be honest, I think I'm very excited. I'm elated. I think happiness is probably not the right word to describe it. I think I'm short of words to describe the kind of feeling I'm feeling right now in regards that Eric Ten Hag is gone. And to be honest, as bad as Manchester United season has been, we are just, I think, 5 points off probably Arsenal or Nottingham Forest that is probably having the best of their season. So there's still hope that if these guys put in a run of form, go on a winning streak, the chances of making top four is there. But to be honest, when Amorim comes in, it's going to be starting all over again and a breath of fresh air and trying to see what can this guy bring. He's a young manager. He's tactically sound. He knows how to communicate well to the players. He's very firm in his approach and he's very disciplined. So it's kind of like a breath of fresh air to see what Amorim is going to bring. To be honest, I think I have high expectation and hope for this new manager coming in.
Talking about breath of fresh air, let me ask you this question: how much have American change you?
Oh,
you don't look like the boy that the kid that came to my studio a few years ago.
I still feel like my ideologies are still the same. I'm still an African. I'm still pro-African. I'm still for the betterment of Nigeria, or in terms of maybe availability of resources and in terms of development and skill acquisition. I think I'm far beyond improved. And
your mind's ahead of your mates now, right?
Yeah. I'm far beyond improved. When I first came to your studio, I can access information better. I can comprehend information better. I can think faster. But I think that's the only thing. But in terms of my ideology and what I believe, my skill sets, I'm still much pro-African.
Bobby, let me throw that question to you. I mean, I can't remember, but you said you came to audition at Brilla FM some time ago.
Yeah.
Has the UK changed your person, your disposition to life, and all that?
I would say I'm still the same person, but yeah, in terms of maybe reasoning, outlook in general, there's been some changes because from some of the things I was thinking or the way I'll be reasoning when I was in Nigeria, some things have changed since I came to the UK. But I'm still the same person. I'm still the same person, but there's still improvements. I've learned a lot, a whole lot. I've been in the UK for 6, 7 years now. Yeah, and I've picked up a lot of things. My eyes have opened to certain things which I didn't really understand when I was in Nigeria, but see the same ideology.
The biggest thing that I learned going abroad or traveling all about is work ethics. I quickly realized that in Nigeria, we go through work like Ghanaians, like laissez-faire attitude, not be work, we'll do and after a month end, I will pay you salary. But then when I start traveling and my traveling started pretty early, from being a child growing up like that. I noticed that people's attunement, let me use that word now, focus on work is very high demanding. You have to, work with time. If you don't, you miss your train or you miss your bus, and it affects your whole day, your whole circle and all that. You make one wrong turn, like if you're in the US, for instance, you're traveling, maybe in Florida, you make one wrong turn, you could miss your appointment by 4 or 6 hours. So all of those things change the way I look at things and planning and thinking. But I'm always asking these questions because they are very, very fundamental and very, very important to how I'm raising my kids, even though they are growing up here in Nigeria. So I want to go to China. China, what informed the kind of life that you live? Is it the fact that you grew up in the UK, in Liverpool, and then came back to Nigeria? Is there something about it that gave? Because you're very open to people. You're quick to give information. You know what you do is like Mario. Every time I call Mario, can you help me do this? He does it. But in our place here, let me be very honest. So let me share some ideas with you. You see somebody do a very big interview, right? And you tell the person, I like this person, or I would like to interview this person. The person would rather die than give you their contact. What informed this personality that you have? China?
I wouldn't say it was from my childhood at Liverpool. That was childhood. Maybe not. But I think I got a lot of that from my father, who was very open. He wanted to help. He was always helping people, giving people opportunities, and I saw that as the way I should live my life. So I always feel that there is space for everyone at the top. So that I help you does not mean I can't be at the top if I'm really at the top. So I'm always open to giving that information, helping people get better. That's just it. It's not about my stay at Liverpool. No, it was should I say inherited? That, for lack of a better word to use, so I say it's something I picked from my dad. He was that kind of person, and that's the kind of person I am. I can't live any other way. Matthew, you're distracted.
Yes, I'm a bit distracted. Nigerian electricity people are giving me all sort of problems here, but I'm still good. I'm here. So let me come to Mario now. Mario, we've been discussing this thing on and on and on, over and over and over and again, and I'm going to try to find a way to ask the question so that the answer will come out right. How important is digital media to a football club, the brand of a coach, and the brand of a football player today?
Hugely important. Obviously, when you see, we can look across Sub-Sahara. Everything below Sub-Sahara, outside South Africa, follows sports outside their country. And the only way they connect is through digital and a little bit of broadcast. But that's the ultimate point. 9 out of 10 cases, the first touch point of somebody today starting the online journey is the first touch point of an interested audience, is the football club or is social media. So if your social media is just focusing on football results, then obviously it's very, very boring. And if you lose games, you will never grow your audience in your community. And players are role models. With the pandemic, the last 4 or 5 years, the clubs have not seen that significant growth if they didn't have a strategy, but the players have seen tremendous growth. If they score 2, 3, 4 goals at the competition at an event. So it's for the entire stakeholder, the entire family of sport. Digital is hugely important and significantly important, and especially when you do brands activation and sponsorship activation, They don't want signboards anymore in stadiums because only a few people see them. They just want digital assets. They want digital visibility. They want social media visibility, and they want obviously a combination of those. So it has commercial impact, it has a marketing impact, and it has a communication impact.
So you staked it on two direction, one or three probably. One is the digital impact, the other one is the commercial impact, and then the communication impact. Let's stay with the commercial impact. How much money comes into play today because clubs or leagues and players are involved in social media? Because here in my country, people still don't believe that, oh, social media is supposed to make you make money. When you tell people activate your social media, grow your social media, the first thing they ask you is, how does it give me money? How does it give me 3 points? So I need to know how a brand, probably a football club that have 1 million followers on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, how does it convert that into dollars and pounds or euros or naira and kobo, whatever?
Zero if you don't have a strategy. But if you look into the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, they have 40 plus staff preparing content for social media and website channels. And these 40 plus staff, they wouldn't be there if it would not be profitable. And obviously they have a strategy. They have regional sponsorships. Yeah, they can ensure that. And I give you just a simple example. So at AS Roma, there is the team lineup, officially published 1 hour before the match. So in the morning, there is a quick message from the partnership manager of AS Roma to the betting partner in Thailand and saying, okay, the link is now open. You can go ahead. And in the whole morning hours, the gamblers and bettors and people around loving the football, they can predict the starting 11 of the team. And when the whole morning they just invest money into that, and obviously the funds are then shared between the betting partner and the football club. It's very simple. So, and it's just, we're talking about lineups. We're not even talking about results, scorers and all these kind of things where usually the money is placed on. So this is just, you can develop completely new formats if you're creative, and digital is all about creativity.
Now, people talk about this thing, they say the strategy for traction. Does signing a big player, because I'm going to go to China with this. Rivers United were unbeaten the start of the season. They were doing well. They had a chance to sign a player like Brani Deye. And then just the same way Canopilla signed Ahmed Musa. But unfortunately, they didn't do that signing. And for their last 3 games, they've not won a game. They've drawn 1 and lost 2. The signing a big player add value? And why I'm asking this question, when Cristiano Ronaldo moved to Juventus, they said he's increased their social media following. And then he went to Saudi Arabia again. They said they signed him not just to come and win trophies, but to increase the viewing. And in a few days from now, Netflix will release the documentary on what's it called, on the Saudi Arabia Pro League. So all of this, how does signing a big player to a club tie up with social media strategy?
Is that for me?
No, for Mario.
You did mention you wanted to go to China, so
sorry, I made a mistake. It was a mistake. Yeah, no, I'm still staying with you, but I'll go to China.
No, not a problem at all. So basically, signing a big player gets. I mean, who knew Al Nassr 2 years ago? Nobody. Yeah, only very, very football particular people had an awareness who is Al Nassr. And with the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously that changed. Yeah, Al Nassr is now in the top 20 of social media following around the world. Yeah, they were 380th or maybe 520th in our list. I can double check that, but they didn't have any significant relevance until that signing, and that changed tremendously. And simply just because the reason that Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't post enough on his own social media channels about life in Saudi Arabia. So Al Nassr basically takes over that full communication flow, that interest of Cristiano Ronaldo on their profiles, because they follow him on every training, they follow him on the pitch, they follow him everywhere. And that's why they gained so quickly so many followers, because they are genuinely interested in Cristiano Ronaldo. But Cristiano on his social media channels is not very active. Yeah, there's 2 or 3 posts a week, but not enough for the fans of the player. So they try to see on digital where they can get the information about the player. And the good thing about digital, I can track every single click of a user. I can see, oh, this user watched the video 1 minute and 20 seconds. The other user watched it from start till the end, all 30 minutes. On broadcast, you don't. You guesstimate. Yeah. On out of home advertisement, you don't. You guesstimate how many people seen that, how many people remember it. And just to give you a small example, when we watch a football match, yeah, we watch 90 minutes of football match. But if a 15-year-old today, so he's seen one piece of content, he's seen probably 4 or 5 goals and everything. But if one 15-year-old youngster watches TikTok the same 90 minutes, he consumed 450 content pieces in the same time we watch one football match.
Wow.
So 450 versus 1. So what resonates is obviously the key, and idols and football brands, they resonate, and that's why they will always be remembered, because in sports we have 2 differentiators comparing, or which brands, products, broadcasters don't have. In sports we have emotions and we have passion. Bobby loves Man United, yeah, to die hard. That's the passion, and that's the love of the game, and that's the emotions. Winning or losing brings us emotions. Doesn't change his passion. It's just then an emotional kind of roller coaster. And a noodle is a noodle, and Thomas Müller makes Barilla noodle here in advertisement sexy. If it wouldn't be Thomas Müller, the brand would only look at offering coupons and everything to kind of find buyers to differentiate from their competition. But sports activates, emotionalizes brands and products. As simple as that.
Wow. China, let me come to you now. Since the last time we had the conversation about to be or not to be, is Brani Day going to Rivers United or not? They've lost to Ikorodu City, their first win in the league. They've drawn away, and then they've lost at home to struggling Bayelsa United yesterday, 1-0. What's happening with your own town team?
Poor run of form, I would say. I watched the Barca United game yesterday, and Barca United got a lucky goal very early in the game. Very lucky goal. But after that, Rivers United just couldn't do anything about it. As hard as they tried, they couldn't just get behind Barca United. You saw a determined Barca United side who could have scored a second goal in first half and maybe a third goal in second half. I mean, they sat back and played off the counter. And every time they played off the counter, they caught Rivers United napping. I spoke with the Barca United coach later, or he met me at the car park as I was driving out, Ladan Boso. And I teased him. I said, "You're bottom of the table. You came to take 3 points from us." And he said, "Your team played luxury football while we played survival football. You didn't need the point. We needed it, and we came and picked it up here." I don't know what happened in Lagos. I just heard the results. What happened yesterday? Rivers did not play badly. They just met a tough, and it's like a local derby.
It's not like it is
Bayelsa,
a local derby, actually.
just about 1 hour separates the 2 cities. And for the past 15 years, it's on record that most players that signed for Bayelsa United are those that have been rejected by Rivers United and Sharks and Dolphins.
Yeah.
So their biggest game is coming to Port Harcourt because they were rejected by the club. It has been like for the past 15 years. It's always a tough game to play in. And they got a lucky goal, very lucky goal. After that, it was just one-way traffic for them. The Rivers could not go behind them. And should I say good for them? Their coach just had a 3-match ultimatum last week after they drew at home to Eyimba 1-1 and coming to Port Harcourt to win. That's their biggest result this year, probably even the past 2 years, their biggest results.
For Finidi George, is it time to panic or keep calm and keep going and hope that...
When the league started and he was winning at home, winning away, drawing away, and he was unbeaten for like the first 9 games, I had a chat with him. I said, "Finidi George, you're doing a good job here." So he knows but he's also a coach. He knows that with one or two bad results, the fan will turn against him. So he knows what it's about. Now, I had some fans complain yesterday at the stadium about why he's not a good coach. In fact, one of them said it was ridiculous thing that a winger should not be coaching. I was hearing that for the first time.
Really?
But it comes with when, yes, somebody actually said a winger should not be coaching. I don't know where he got that from. But it's happening because he has not won in the past 3 games. When he was unbeaten in 9 games, he was the best coach in the country.
It was a midfielder.
It's natural. So, for the team, they have to shake the pieces away. Throw the shackles off their bodies and get up and go, because it's Port Harcourt. It's Port Harcourt. The fans can be restive at times. If they don't get a win in the next 2 games, then he'll be in trouble, serious trouble.
Well, Finidi George, if you're watching, the warning is out there. But now let's address the big elephant in the room. Finidi George have dropped 8 points out of a possible 9 to pick up, and got only 1 point out of a possible 9. But then a coach who is not used to losing, a coach who is so into winning that winning has become his culture. He goes to Germany, he's in Spain, he's in England, taking everybody like Jack the Giant Slayer. Pep Guardiola have lost 4 games on the bounce, competitive time. He did that with Bayern, but that was after winning the title. What is wrong with Pep Guardiola and Man City? Because even though we talk about the injuries, the players that he's playing are still good enough to make, any other team struggle. What is wrong? Let me start with you, China. What's your opinion?
It's going to happen at some point in your life. For me, when they lost Rodri to injury, it will happen at some point. It could be nice, but it's going to happen at some point. Yeah, he has had a decent run, an exceptional run. So it's happening to him now. I think he can be cut some slack, because for City and for Pep Guardiola, you never say never. When they lost Rodri, yes, you could say they have a massive squad, but Rodri has always been that solid rock in the midfield, holding the defense together, connecting to the attack, and giving them inspiration. Not that he couldn't have been replaced with some other player in the squad, was always going to affect them. But I'm not going to say because of Rodri, they're not winning games. I'm saying that it's a poor run of form. Every club is entitled to a poor run of form. What happens in match day 8, match day 20, match day 30, every club gets that poor run of form. What matters is how well you can shake it up. And if you know Manchester City, they are 5 points behind Liverpool. But it's nothing. 5 points is really nothing. Now, we know how Man City operates from January. We know. So I think they can still shake it off. If it's a Rodri issue, if it's an injury issue, then the rival club should pray that they go 15 points behind by January. Anything short of that, they are still in the race. For a man that has won 5 of the last 6 league titles, won the Champions League for a Manchester City, I think if he goes 4 games without a win, he can be forgiven.
Habib, what's your thoughts on Pep?
For me, I think there's this media outreach. I think people are always blowing it out of proportion. So every season, there's always the talk of, Manchester City are in crisis. Is this the end of an era?
Pep
like
is a
China
fraud.
said, yeah, he's a fraud. Like China said,
that's the most annoying talk I hear anyway.
Like China said, Manchester City are the only team in England that is capable of going on a 15-match winning streak. Like they have that in their locker. Like they just pick up steam and they start blowing teams apart from I think they start from January. They have that period in the season where they peak and they start blowing teams apart. And I don't think they've even reached gear 1, or they are still in gear 1 for now. Obviously, the absence of Rodri has affected how they play. I think they can't control the tempo of games. It's more like transition football, and Pep hates that. It's more like back and forth, like a basketball game. If Pep can find a solution, probably 2 things in the midfield, and try to gain more control, I think they'll be able to control possession better, and they'll be able to mitigate attacks, counter attacks from opposing teams. But from now, we are talking about a manager that has won is it 5 or 6 league titles? He has been in England for I think 9 years, and only 2 teams have won the league.
He's won 7 and 9.
Yeah, only two teams, and no team has won the league back to back since Guardiola has been here. So I think he has turned England to like a farmers' league in
Oh my
quotes.
God, I don't want to hear that.
Like that's the sad reality. And the standard he has set has become like I don't know, has come back to bite him because he has set this high standard that if there's any drop of form, people will begin to like criticize him. Normally, City finish with like 90 points or plus 90 points. And anything short of that is considered like a failure.
Yeah.
They don't, yeah. So it's more like the standard he has set is the thing that is biting him back. But I'm not too worried.
Bobby, let me come to
Yeah.
you. You have anything to say? Just 1 minute because I need Mario to wrap up for me with something else.
I'll basically say, as Habib said, it's because of the standards. That's why people think that there's a crisis because they're just 5 points behind the top team. But it's due to a number of issues. To me, I think Pep is mentally fatigued. If you listen to his responses, his press conferences, what he says, you will know that he's basically tired. The team, when it comes to the team, there's no balance in the midfield. I think due to one of the reasons due to the absence of Rodri. Defensively, they are vulnerable to counter-attacks. The lack of leadership in defense is costing them goals. They concede a lot of goals. And basically, when it comes to the team itself, I think there's a sense of doubt creeping into that team. And is there a crisis? I think, yeah, there is. Because it hasn't happened to Pep before. And the last time this happened at Man City was in 2006, 2 years before Abu Dhabi came in.
Now, let me end the show with you, Mario. Barcelona were expected to suffer. Bartomeu and his group, Abidal, Zubizarreta, all of these guys conspired together to waste the money that they got from the sale of Neymar. They signed Dembele, signed Coutinho, signed everybody signable, increased salaries unnecessarily. But then when Laporta came in, couldn't register players, had to let Messi go in tears, had to let a lot of players go. And it is expected that Barcelona could go another 10 years without winning titles. But in that storm that they were in, Xavi managed to win the league title. Right now, with Hansi Flick in charge, Barcelona are playing out of their skin. Mario, take us home with this. What is it that Barcelona have done that other clubs in crisis can learn from and build on it? And what is Hansi Flick, flicking in the kitchen at Barcelona that is bringing out this amazing result? Even on days where they don't play well, they still manage to get results.
Yeah, until last night, obviously, when they lost against Real Sociedad. But yeah, so Hansi Flick obviously is a fantastic player when it comes. Fantastic coach when it comes to people management. And people management is critically important when you have egos, and egos we have in every dressing room, because obviously we have plenty of stars, plenty of success, plenty of tradition, and plenty of own ambition and perspective. So that's something we have to consider. And obviously the chemistry between Hansi Flick and the team has done very well, and obviously has flourished. Laporta obviously is a business manager rebuilding a bankrupt organization is like a heart surgeon, with a daily running business. So he can't shut down the club and saying, okay, now bring money left, right, and center, fix everything, build a new stadium. No, I mean, he's very pragmatic. He's turning a 1970s stadium infrastructure into modernization into the 2020 world. He's seeing that there's been plenty of money spent not worthwhile without KPIs, key performance indicators. So obviously we have, I mean, just like in the media house, we have 10 people working on media, and one person is writing website articles, but nobody visits the website. So why does he write website articles if nobody visits? So obviously he's shifting exactly to the resources where the requirement is. We hear very, very big rumors out of Barcelona that the Nike deal will be going into the billions of revenue for the extension from 2028 to 2038, because yes, he's selling a little bit of the future of Barcelona, but he needs the money now, because obviously he sees his objective failing, because building a stadium has variable cost, and this variable cost obviously is now hunting him and hunting Barca for the past 2 seasons, because obviously the limitations given by the licensing agreement of La Liga does mean that you have to prove that your money is in the organization before you can register players. That's why Dani Olmo kind of was not registered for the first 2 match days, because it was not in eligible funds, or not enough funds, or the player salary was still too high. So he's got 5-6 really hot areas, and I'm jumping in these areas in between, so I'm irritating a little bit the audience, and apologize for that. But obviously he's trying to fix on an operational day-to-day mode a club, and he's trusted now the people around him, especially Hansi Flick, to calm the players. And again, as I mentioned, Hansi Flick is very good in bringing youngsters in, and Barcelona is now forced